Hey, what's up, all? Hope y'all are doing good. It's been a hot minute since I did a video, or at least it feels that way. Um, I'm going to try to do a very quick what sold last week. It was a really good week, and I am so grateful for it. I can't even tell you. It makes it super busy, which is it's good and bad, So on top of everything else, but wow. So thankful. It's been a long time since I've had a week that's been as good as that. So let's see if I can get to the proper dates. Ordered August 17th. That was this morning, so I'm going to not include that one. So the first thing I had was a French amber glass swirl centerpiece dish. Jason and I found that in Spring Hope, outside of Wilson, um, 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and I think we paid $10 for it, and I made $42 on that, and that went up to Ohio. Next, I had a little hand-painted Italian sunflower trinket dish. This was a recent Langston pickup in a lot that had several. If I have time, I'm going to look up the lot. I'll pop it up here and note how much I paid for that lot. But this was a gift, and it went down to Texas, and I made $23.91 on it. Then we had a brass samovar handle, a replacement part. This was in a giant lot of stuff, and I can't remember if it was a Langston or a Brownstone lot. And I was hoping someone would want it. Have no idea what they're going to use it for, but I posted that and I made $13.18, and that went down to Georgia. Then we had another Langston porcelain plate, and I just picked this up. It was a E.S. Wilcox cabinet plate. It's so pretty. And that went to, where did that go? That went to Georgia, and I earned $10.59. Super happy about that because these porcelain cabinet plates do not sell that much at all. Then we had an order for 8 Limoges, Belfort Limoges bread and butter plates, and 8 Limoges Belfort dinner plates. Now these were consignment for one of my friends at the gym. I've had it for a long time, couple years now, at least, and slow sellers because it's just the way it is. No one wants antique china generally. So happy to see this order come through because that takes all the Limoges pieces that I've been selling for him down from 3 bins to 1 bin. That's a good thing. So out of all of that, I made $127, and 40% of that will go to him. And those went up to Southampton. Then we had an order for 2 horn caviar spoons, little mini spoons. They're like this big. Where did they go? They went to Texas, and I made $10.20. Another consignment piece, a large planter, hand painted with purple flowers. This went to New York, and I made $21.90. I'll split that 60-40 with the other lady that I'm selling it for. And then this dang thing, thankfully, I won this magazine rack in an auction, and stupid, couldn't sell it. Like, I didn't check the solds. This is when I was still kind of new. And honestly, I wasn't like, I don't know. It was just, I was working a full-time job, and if I lost a little bit of money on it, I'm like, oh, that's fine. But man, it's been sitting around. I think all told, I paid $40 for this thing. And I have to refund him back some money for the shipping. So I made maybe $25 on it. Maybe. Maybe. Don't know. So it's finally gone though. So frustrating. I hate it when I do end up doing things like that. I don't like to get upside down. If I break even, cool. If I make a little bit of money, cool. Make a lot of money, cool. But when I lose money, that just burns. It really does. Then I had the Simplex Kensington #3 whistling kettle teapot. And this was a recent Langston pickup. And I got a giant lot of kitchen stuff for like $10. This kettle was the reason I bid on it. And I made good money on this. I made $57. So helps offset that magazine holder. Then I had a pink flamingo glass appetizer pick set of 6 from 1980s. This came from I want to say it was Brownstone, but it might have been the Simply Done auction house up in Connecticut area. I don't remember now, but that went to Kentucky and I made $21.95 on that. Then I sold a Al Creamer and Sugar by Imperial Glass. It's their chocolate slag glass. So cute. I originally bought these for me. I've had them for several years and I ended up being fine with passing them along. I probably broke even on this and they went out to Colorado. Then I sold a little Victorian pin plate, antique milk glass dresser tray. This went to Georgia and I made $13.55. This was the biggie. 2 pieces of art. I'm going to see what is the date. So this was ordered on Thursday, August 13th. And this one piece of art, Jason and I had gone on a road trip down to Florida and we were on our way home. We decided to drive from Florida all the way back to North Carolina in one shot because we were tired and ready to go home, basically. So, but he's like, we got a little bit of room left in the vehicle. So I looked up, we were in Georgia at the time. I looked up a place and I'm like, let's go try this place. And we stopped in the middle of Georgia somewhere off of 95 and found this cool place, and we were there for a couple hours and found this painting for $10. And I loved the painting myself, so I'm of the mindset that if I love it, I might not want to get rid of it. You have to love it more than me. So I priced it accordingly, although his works generally go for around this, and it sold for $184.87. And it is a painting on canvas by Charles Henry Granger. I think it's gorgeous. So $10 for that. Had it for 3 years now, but it's fine. I'll hold on to it. I would have kept it myself forever, so that's a nice turn. Then I had a 1950s paint by number winter landscape. And this thing was super dirty when I got it. I cleaned it up without, ruining the paint itself. And I framed it. Put it in a nice little wood frame behind glass because it's the only frame I had that fit it. I probably should have ditched the glass because most people don't put the glass on paint. But anyways, that's up to the buyer if they want to remove it. And I think I paid $10 for several of them from Eman Auctions up in, I want to say they're in New Jersey. And it sold for $68. So I made really good money on this order for sure. I have to credit him back some shipping. What did he pay for shipping? $77.57. And then shipping costs were 40, 35, 40. And so I will refund him back $30. So I earned $250 on that order. So that was so awesome. I was so tickled to see that come in. Then another large sale. This is a consignment for sure from the lady at the gym. It went to Georgia, and this is a iconic New York City martini cocktail set with 4 martini glasses, the cocktail shaker, and 2 olive picks. Now, let me tell you about packing this bad boy up. You have a heavy metal shaker, and you have 4 large martini glasses. So I took the martini glasses and put them in separate boxes. I put those in one big box, and then the shaker itself, I covered the boxes with a heavier piece of cardboard that had the boxes that had the glasses in it. Heavier piece of cardboard, wrapped up the shaker, and taped that sucker to that piece of cardboard. So it was delivered already. Dang, that was quick. Um, I haven't heard anything, so I'm hopeful that everything arrived in the same manner I sent it. Because this was a big sale, earned $133 off of this, and it'll be a 60-40 split. So whatever 60% of that is what I will keep. Then we had a pair of Baldwin solid brass candlesticks. They were 4.75 inches tall. They went to South Carolina, and I've had them for a long time. I actually thought I had them listed and then kept wondering why I'd see them. Like, why haven't these sold yet? And this realized I never listed them. So I listed them finally, and they sold pretty quickly. Probably within a month and a half, maybe, and made $28.25. I don't remember where I got them from. It'd be Langston or not Burns, Langston or Brownstone generally. Then we had a little double bluebird of happiness on a heart, and we picked this up for I think $10 in Pennsylvania when we went on our Pennsylvania road trip, and it sold, and I made $22 on it. So minus the 10, I made $12. And that went out to Tennessee. Then I had a pair of handkerchiefs. Oh, and I have to mention, I am doing a 30% off closeout on some of the items in my shop that have been sitting there for a while. So this is why it's been such a good sales week. But I'm clearing out some old stock, which I am super, super thrilled about. So I'll take it. I don't care. I never used to want to run sales, but God, I can't buy anything new. I can't go treasure hunting if I don't sell the old stuff. So it's like, let me run some sales. It'll all work out in the end. So anyways, handkerchiefs. I sold 2, is it a pair? 3 for 1 handkerchiefs to a person in Maryland. And this is from the handkerchief lot that I bought, God, 3 years ago. That had a bajillion handkerchiefs in it. Basically, I still have some that I haven't listed. So I know I got the lot for probably $40, and I sell them usually between $12 and $16, and I'm lotting them either in pairs or trios, and so I'm making about $8 on each one that I sell, which is amazing because I've sold several and I know I've made my money back and also made a profit at this point. So that's fantastic. And next we had a pair of pepper and salt shakers by Indiana Glass in their Tiara Ponderosa Pine pattern. Those are some weighty, hefty salt and pepper shakers. And those were in the closeout sale. So they got 30% off. What did we make? I recouped the cost of what I bought them for. I think we paid, well, maybe I made a couple dollars. We paid like $8 at a local place. So we picked them up. And it says $10 and a few cents is what the earnings were. So, not going to buy those things again ever. Then I had a small tan clip-on lampshade with beaded fringe, and that went to Kentucky, and I made $14.20 on that. I believe I found that locally. Don't remember when. It's been a minute. Then we had blush pink seashell plates, a set of 3. I found these in a local thrift shop for $3, and there was 4 plates in the bundle, and they had taped it, and I got it home, and of course, damaged plates on the inside where you couldn't see. Pisses me off. And this is a church sale. Not cool, y'all. Not cool. I was mad. I don't ever go to this thrift store anymore because they just pissed me off so much. They take all their good stuff and put it in an auction. So, and nah, I'm just whatever. It is what it is. They're going to do what they're going to do, but to tape plates together in a manner that hides the imperfections, that sucks. All right, so anyways, so I paid $3 and I earned $13.82 off of the set of 3, and it went to New York, and those were in the closeout sale. Then I had a set of 3 tennis rackets, and those went to New York, and I made $134.33 on that. Then we had, and these are the vintage wooden tennis rackets. So then we had a silver plate Paul Revere reproduction pitcher. I've had this since our first Langston auction almost 4 years ago, and I think it's so pretty. I cleaned it up and I had some flowers in it for a long time. I was using it, and then I finally put it in a bin. I never listed it. I only listed it a couple months ago. So I'm happy that it sold fairly quickly. It sold and I made $24 on this. So fairly sure that the lot I got that in had already paid for itself. Then we had this thing. I got this from consigners up in Chapel Hill, and this was probably 3 years ago. It's a 1940s Robinson Ramsbottom black stoneware double handle floral crock. And considering the age and the fact that this is a cold painted design, like they didn't fire it after they painted it. They fired the crock itself and then they painted the design on it, which means it's not going to last. So, and there was no chips. It was flawless. And I thought for sure someone would want it, but I have had it forever. I kept dropping the price, and it says I earned $7.18. I don't think I did. If anything, I maybe made a couple dollars. I'm hoping I'm not upside down on this. Then let's see, what are the dates that I'm supposed to be going to? We are doing the 10th through the 16th. Okay. So I've got a couple more. Next was another one. We found this in Wilson at Rummage Warehouse or whatever the heck it's called. And it's a handmade pottery double dip caddy with a hand painted iris design. Super cute. Thought for sure someone would buy it way sooner, but it has sat and sat and sat for almost 4 years. Um, I don't know. I don't know how much I paid for it because they do a bundle thing whenever you're there, and we had a ton of stuff, so I don't know. It says I earned $13.11, and that went to New York. We're just going to go with that. Then the last order for this past week was a pair of oval frame prints, the children praying, the Victorian like metal frames, small. Those went out to Nashville, Tennessee, and I made $24.55. I got one from Brownstone. I got one from one auction house and another from a different auction house, and I don't remember. So I put them together. And it says I earned $24.55. I don't remember what I paid for them because I don't remember where they came from. So we'll just roll with that. And that wraps up Etsy. Did I sell some things on eBay? I think I did. Let me check. So for the vintage eBay, I sold a hat for one of my consignment people, and it was total was $35. What did I make on it? Takes me forever to find how much I made because I'm just not as quick moving through eBay. All right, that went to New Jersey, and the order earnings are $22.83. And we are doing a 50-50 split. So I'll give him half and I'll have half of that. Then for the modern eBay, I sold a flamingo porcelain hinge trinket box the week before. I'm just gonna put that in here because I know I'm gonna forget to mention it. And a Yeti tumbler. So Yeti tumbler, I didn't make hardly, but maybe a couple bucks because I mistakenly put in free shipping. Not smart. Same for the flamingo, but that was probably $5, so I probably made maybe $12 on this thing. So eBay is not my favorite, I can tell you that. And Facebook, I know there was some stuff on Facebook, but I can't remember right now. I'll have to stop the video and check. So I sold a few things for Jason on Facebook, but that's all of his stuff, so there's no need for me to even go into that. And that's it. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 more Saturdays in the garage doing this vintage sale clearance. And in the meantime, I'm also preparing to do a pop-up in my storage unit. This is not going to be a clearance sale. This is going to be vintage curated stuff. Some of my very nice stuff. So there'll be good prices, but they will not be $1 or $5, for items that are high quality. And I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to market this and do this. It's completely out of my wheelhouse, but I am super excited about setting up basically my own booth. And so, yeah, if you're interested, you should comment below and I will reach out to you and let you know when it's happening. I'm trying to get it for the first weekend in October. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, that wraps up August 10th to yesterday. What was that? The 16th? And yeah, that was a lot. So I'm going to see if I have time to do videos for the other weeks. I'm not going to promise anything because that is just, it's already sold. And I have moved so many things at this vintage sale that I've done every weekend. And so I'm just treading water. That's basically all you can do. So I'll talk to y'all next time, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Stay safe.